We don't need to live on the 3D plane. We live in a society. How is that going for you? Hello, friends. Welcome back to Right Now, Let's Enjoy. This week, I want to talk about something that I have really struggled with my entire life, which is overcomplicating things on accident because I didn't know better how to simplify my life. At some point in your life, perhaps in your earlier years, someone told you that you were too hard on yourself and that you needed to get over yourself. Instead of having the presence of mind to take what they said with a grain of salt and use that as fuel to make yourself better, you unfortunately took it really personally and you got offended and you got hurt and you used that to keep yourself down. Let me be the last person to have to remind you that you do not need any kind of external validation to exist perfectly as you are right now. You exist anyway. You might as well feel like you are allowed to be here. But let's be honest, bestie, you've been doing too much. Rein it in, all right? We don't need to be doing all of that. Life is really not that complicated once you strip away all of the expectations and fear-based behaviors that we engage in as human beings. We love to pretend, and it's like an ego-driven thing of the collective consciousness. We love it. We love to pretend like we are better than everything else in existence, and therefore we do not have to operate under the same laws of nature. We are extraterrestrial. We are celestial beings. We're angelic beings. We don't need to live on the 3D plane. No laws of nature govern me. I can live exactly how I want to live. How is that going for you? On the surface, hearing that is very wonderful. You know, we all want to be sovereign beings. We want to follow our dreams. We want to find the people that we resonate with. We want to feel like we belong somewhere, feel fulfilled in our lives. We want to feel connected to the world around us. But here's a hard truth. We actually have not evolved that much from ancient human beings. We still have very similar brains to our ancient ancestors. What does that mean? It means that we are also simple creatures. We are no different from the cockroach. We are no different from the squirrel, from the dog. We are still animals. We are still creatures, wild creatures that have been conditioned from the moment we were born into a society that has been built upon colonial, patriarchal, violent, dehumanizing standards. The way that most of us live is not simple. It's overcomplicated because we believe we are better than the rest of consciousness, that we are better than the rest of the universe. We are not better than the rest of the universe. You need to humble yourself. You're doing too much. I have literally tried so desperately to live a quote normal life, stick myself into this beautiful little golden cage, being mediocre for the rest of my life. Long story short, as you can probably assume, that did not work for me. I had to actually go back and learn ancient history. I had to begin exploring ancient texts to figure out how I could properly live in this modern world. A lot of why we are so confused and so overcomplicated in our lives is because we're being constantly marketed to by brands that are telling us that we are not enough unless we purchase something that they are selling us. You're just a number on the other side of the screen. I know you're not just a number on the other side of the screen. I know that you're a person watching this. That's crazy. Ironically, my last video was all about being a failure. I didn't even mention that I don't have I don't make enough money to afford to pay rent, which means I live in my camper van, which is not even a proper camper van. It was a cargo van that I hand built and converted into what you see here, which is super cute. But like, to say the very least, living in a van has helped me, as well as studying these ancient texts, reorient myself to the actual real priorities of what it takes for me to survive and thrive with as little as I possibly can. I don't really have a whole lot of options. My survival needs are very important. If I don't have my survival needs met, I will not be okay. I have come up with 5 basic needs for the human being to survive and thrive and live a good life: food, water, shelter, clothing, and hygiene. Everything else besides that is just icing on the cake. We do not need that much to stay alive. Unfortunately, our current society is set up in a way to convince people at the bottom who are living in extreme poverty that that is all that they need and that is all that they will ever have. While it's true, people can live off of very, very little, it's very important to have the reminder that once you have those 5 survival needs met, you don't need to stay in the loop of fear. That fear is what keeps people stuck at that lowest tier of the hierarchy of needs. It's not the needs themselves that keep you stuck. It's the fear that there's nothing above that. People that remain stuck have not been taught that there are layers. They have been disempowered by the system at large. So the only thing that we can do, no, we're not going to overwork ourselves. We are going to sit back and we are going to learn how to breathe, and we are going to learn how to self-regulate and become the best versions of ourselves that we possibly can. The main thing that you need to know is that you have the power to get these needs met for yourself. If you struggle with mental health like I do, I know how difficult it can be to actually get those things met for yourself without overthinking about all of the other things that you have to do. Just come back to the basics. You need fuel. You need hydration. You need to be warm. You need to protect your feet. You need to have a safe place to sleep at night. And you need to stay clean. You need to take care of your body, take care of your skin, take care of your hair, take care of your teeth. If you only focus on those basic needs for a day, you have fulfilled your contract of existence. You are not expected to be more, to be extraordinary. And the people that are making you feel guilty for that do not deserve a place in your life. You deserve, okay, it's not about deserving. Actually, I take that back. We'll talk about that another time. You are worthy of care. You are worthy of consistency. You are worthy of having your basic survival needs met. There's always more to do. There's actually not. That's a choice. It's a choice to outperform other people. It is a choice to go above and beyond. It is a choice to overwork yourself. It is a choice to move from a place of guilt and fear. The only way we can begin to change this pattern is to remind ourselves that there is only this moment right now. Come back into this moment. We connect with our breath. We connect with our existence. We feel the air on our skin. You might actually be able to hear yourself. Your real self, not the ego, not the expectations, not the voices of other people telling you who and what you should be and what you should be doing with your life. When you have a moment of stillness with yourself, that is the most clarity you will ever have. And if you haven't given yourself a lot of moments like that, it's going to feel terrifying at first. But you need to trust me that only with practice of coming back to the present moment, you will realize life is not actually as hard as you have perceived it to be, as other people have told you that it is, as you have experienced in the past. Life is not just a mirror of all of the trauma that you've gone through in the past. What happens in the future is completely undetermined, and you can actually manipulate the future to be exactly the way that you want it to be if you are brave enough to sit here right now with yourself and actually listen to what you are saying within. A lot of us are masters at ignoring ourselves and our basic needs. And it came from a moment in childhood or adolescence or maybe even early adulthood where the fear got switched on and it started to drive the bus. We were never taught how to drive the bus, so we let fear drive it because it seems like fear knows what it's doing. To some extent, it does. You have these animal instincts within you that are supposed to keep you safe. We do not need to go and hunt for our food. We have a lot of our basic survival needs taken care of for us, but we don't even realize it because that hierarchy of needs has been completely stripped from our awareness. We are not conscious of the fact that there are levels of existence. We just all think that we're supposed to be at the very top. Capitalism, you know? That fight or flight response within you is there to tell you when something is very wrong. You might be wondering, how do I tell if it's my intuition telling me that there's something wrong versus my fear or my anxiety telling me that there's something wrong? You have to start by trusting both feelings. If you are in constant denial of your own lived experience when you have feelings of survival, of anxiety, of fear, and you're just pushing those down, you are also pushing down that intuition, that compass within you that is supposed to be there to tell you how to go towards the things that you actually want. The intuition, that self-actualization, is at the top of the Maslow's hierarchy. You will not be able to access the intuition properly unless you have your basic survival needs met and your animal body feels safe. People in general are scared, living in fear and lack, and so it's literally biologically wired into our brains. If we have to scramble to stay alive and our survival is not guaranteed, we can never become regulated and balanced enough to reach our higher potential. And my theory is that the state of chronic stress is a result of our society giving us so many conflicting messages about what it is we need. You need to be skinny so that you're desirable, so you don't need to eat. You need to make the most amount of money you possibly can, so you don't really need to learn how to express yourself with fashion. You need to find the love of your life and settle down and have kids. You don't really need to focus on being financially independent enough to properly shelter yourself in your own home. You need to work very, very hard, the maximum amount of hours that you can, so you don't really need to focus on your hygiene and your well-being. It's devastating what the world has done to us. You always have a choice for how you can go forward from this point here, right now. We are still human beings. We are still creatures of this planet, and creatures of this planet have certain rhythms within nature that we have just neglected to be taught. And that is not your fault. That is the fault of the world that we are currently living in, that does not really care about our individual well-being. To the world around us, we are just a number on the screen. But that's not reality. The reality is, if you do not know how to take good care of yourself, you can never actually get to the next level. And the next level is honestly meaningless if you do not have your basic needs met. Just taking good care of yourself today is more than enough. Before you can properly love yourself and actually indulge in the things that you care about creatively, spiritually, academically, socially, you need to protect yourself. Prioritize your safety and your security. Although that might be uncomfortable at first because that doesn't really include the luxuries and the comforts of life, trust. When you do get your basic needs met, those comforts and those luxuries will just come to you automatically. My van is named Baloo, like Baloo the bear from Jungle Book, because that was the very first play I was ever in when I was a kid. My first month of full-time van life in an urban area was rough. It was hard on me. I got the cops called on me one night and they banged on my door in the middle of the night. It was really scary. My nervous system was definitely in fight or flight mode. A month went by like this, where I was like sobbing every single night trying to find a place to park. I took myself to my favorite restaurant and I was sitting in the parking lot, and the song Bare Necessities just popped into my brain. Something within me told me, you need to turn that song on right now and listen to it. I started to cry. It was so incredibly synchronistic and divine, the lyrics of that song. If you find out you can live without it and go along not thinking about it, I'll tell you something true. The bare necessities of life will come to you. And the rest of the song also carries this meaning that life can be really simple and enjoyable as long as you know how to properly take care of yourself. That's how a bear can live at ease. It is possible to live at ease, to be comfortable in your own skin with very, very little, with the bare minimum, and still live a really luxurious, comfortable, fulfilling life. It is possible. And I'm telling you from experience, this is my living situation, and I genuinely have never felt better. I've never felt healthier. I've never felt more aligned in my life than I do right now. And this is after losing so much over so many years, going through incredible, intense traumas, just overall having a really bad time. Now, today, I finally feel like I am stable enough to overflow this energy that I have built up within myself. I don't want to say I've mastered it, but I have a pretty good handle on how to take care of myself now, which means that I am able to take care of others, and that includes you. So just remember, you're doing enough. You don't need to do all that. It's okay. It's all right to be easy on yourself, to be kind to yourself, to be patient, and to be resilient, to be forgiving of yourself. It is all okay. There is only just this moment. Nothing else matters. As long as you can be okay in this moment, everything else will work out. I promise you. I promise you. It just takes practice. You will begin to see changes because you have learned how to care. Thank you so much for tuning into this video today. If you enjoyed what you heard, please leave a comment, let me know what resonated the most, and share this with someone that you think might benefit from it today. Also, if you want to keep up with future videos, I'm posting every Monday. Hopefully, let's see how long I can do that. I'm keeping it as a promise to myself. And as someone that has broken a lot of promises to themselves in the past, this is a new thing for me. And so you're watching my expansion and my healing process in the moment as well. So we're in this together. We are on this journey together. I so deeply appreciate your time and your attention. And I really hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you. We'll talk soon. Bye.